Hello, welcome to my usability report presentation on eServices. eServices is Stanley Security's self-service web tool used by both customers and employees. The website is used to manage one's security system, whether it's a burglary or fire alarm system, CCTV, or access control. Customers are divided into three groups: residential, commercial, and national. eServices is more fully utilized by its commercial and national customers who have multiple locations or sites and are managing thousands or hundreds of employees. The site allows customers to manage their security with regards to four separate categories: account management, monitoring, installation and service, and billing. Needs for residential and commercial or national customers differ. Companies are going to use the site to manage their employees' pass cards. These are the codes you would use to arm or disarm a store, view alarm activity, submit repair requests, and pay invoices online, while most residential customers primarily only use it for paying invoices. The main evaluation method was user observation during one-on-one testing. Participants were encouraged to think aloud while I notated where they clicked, especially where they clicked first, as well as notating some of their comments. I recorded task time as well as if the participants successfully completed the task using a combination of the task success rating form and time on task table. In order to understand how the participants felt about the site, they were asked 5 post-task interview questions. I used the Voice Memos app on iPhone to record the majority of the interviews. To conclude the testing, 1 to 2 questionnaires were also administered. 9 people were asked to participate in the usability testing of eServices. The majority of participants are young working professionals and college graduates, ages 26 to 35. On average, each participant spends at least 30 hours a week on the internet for either work or primarily social media and e-commerce. Only 1 participant was a Stanley employee who had previous exposure to the website. This participant is in her 50s and is not a heavy computer user outside of work. While testing was one-on-one, there were 4 separate sessions. All participants were read the same script prior to testing with some variation. Variations in the procedure by session are described below. At the first session, a piece of paper was placed over the monitor before the participant sat down so he could not yet see the website. I read the script to each participant and provided the task list. Once the participant was ready to begin, I removed the piece of paper covering the computer screen and began reading the scenario on the task card. I then gave the task card to the participant to assist him. I read aloud each task card before providing it to the participant. Each interview was also voice recorded, and 2 questionnaires were distributed: the Deep Questionnaire and the System Usability Scale. There was a total of 4 participants at this session. Session 2 followed the same procedure as Session 1, however, only the SUS questionnaire was distributed. I decided that the SUS was more concise and gave me an actual performance metric to measure, so I eliminated the Deep Questionnaire from further testing. This session consisted of 2 participants. For Session 3, the user was at an actual computer versus a laptop, so instead of using a piece of paper to cover the screen, the monitor was turned off. This session consisted of only 1 participant. For Session 4, I did not read the script or task card aloud. Participants read the script themselves due to the noise level, and the website or computer screen was not hidden from them prior to the start of testing. The interview was also not voice recorded. This session consisted of 2 more participants. The picture you see here is from Session 2. In between each test, I had to reset the website or undo some of the tasks for the next user. Again, testing conditions were not ideal, so I had to adjust. This is the list of tasks each participant was asked to complete, along with a picture of a task card. For example, in order to request a tech, the user has to fill out an online form. The task card gives the user all the information he or she needs to successfully complete the task, such as location and what type of work to request. The post-task interview questions were as follows. Again, 7 of the 9 interviews were recorded using the iPhone Voice Memo app. For Session 4, I typed the participants' answers. As the observations and questionnaires were going to give me data about the website usability already, I wanted to use this interview as a chance to gain feedback about some of the things Stanley is already doing in regards to eServices. For example, question 2. Do you think users would benefit from a short training session on most commonly used features? We offer eServices training to our national customers. All participants said yes to this question. As our participants were non-experienced, they more likely represent a residential customer. Maybe we can offer this training to a residential customer as well. How did our participants do on completing the task? Let's take a look at our data from the Task Success Ratings form. 4 tasks had a 100% completion rate, while only one had a low score of 33.33% completion. While you may look at this and think, well, that's good, it's important to note that most participants were only able to complete the task with help, represented by the purple partial success. The percentage encompasses both the complete success and partial success ratings. The system usability scale was the questionnaire administered to all participants after the testing and provides statements such as, I found the system unnecessarily complex, or I found the various functions in the system were well integrated, and asks the participants to rate each statement from strongly agree to strongly disagree. The average SUS score of 62.22 shows there are most likely serious problems with the website usability, despite participants being able to complete the majority of the task. What type of problems, you ask? The combination of interface elements impaired task time and frustrated users. I believe this may have also affected the page download time. The naming of the tabs was unclear to our non-experienced users, and the home page and other elements meant to be helpful were ignored or went unnoticed. Let's look at the first key finding more closely, the combination of interface elements. When trying to complete Task 4, signing up for text status, users struggled with the scrolling feature within the drop-down list, as the page itself also scrolled. One user said, I don't like the scrolling within a scrolling page, as the page itself moved instead of the list. Additionally, the Select All Locations radio button was overlooked, and users assumed all locations would be presented within the drop-down list. They also did not understand what order, if any, the locations were in. One user made the comment, why are they not in alphabetical order? Finally, whereas most online forms, the user can type in their email address and press Save or Submit, this form prompted users with an error message 2 or 3 times when trying to save, because tab, enter, or a comma was supposed to be entered after the email address. One user laughed at himself while asking, What am I doing wrong? But wait, did you notice that cursor in the By Locations box? This is supposed to signal to users to begin typing. As they begin entering a city or zip code or other text, the results in the drop-down list will be filtered. This helpful element was only utilized after it was pointed out to participants. Another example of this was during Task 7, deactivating a login. Users were to deactivate Jennifer Chesum's login. After briefly scrolling through the list, several participants used the Control-F function to locate the employee instead of using the built-in filter feature, accessible by clicking on the small funnel icon. One participant even asked, Can I search? Completely overlooking the icon. The one user who did click on the funnel icon was overwhelmed to see 2 search boxes instead of 1. Additionally, no users clicked on the column headings to sort the list or navigated to the second page via the navigation bar in the lower left. The last key finding was that some of the naming was unclear. This was evident with several tasks. While users needed to access tag management in order to complete Task 3, they were unsure what tag management actually meant, and instead of clicking on it, the majority went first to location management. Task 4, in which users needed to sign up for electronic notifications on text status, many did not associate this with the term e-inform and could not complete the task without being told this piece of information. There was confusion on why there was a tab called both Account Management and My Account, and finally, when having to go back to the home page to successfully complete Task 10, users went instead to Help, or tried clicking on eServices Enterprise, which is not clickable, instead of Stanley Security, which is, and takes you to the home page. Let's listen to just one of the interviews. Okay, what problems do you think this website, eServices, solves for its users?
Get them access to their accounts, view people's information, reschedule or schedule tasks, and eServices. That's it.
Okay. Do you think users would benefit from a short training session on some of the most common features?
Yes, they will.
Why?
Because some of the features are complicated and not everything is accessible easily.
Do you have a specific example that you can recall?
Task number 4. It was hard for me to get.
Okay, then what I have to give you a hint on that you inform. Okay. Would you pay to be able to use this tool?
For what?
If you had a security system and accounts with Stanley Security to be able to manage them online.
Depends on other services, other market. Like maybe I'll find a better provider for this service.
Okay, so with that said, do you think you would pay to use a site like this?
Yeah.
How much would you be willing to pay? Like monthly?
As a person?
Yeah, as a if you were a Stanley Security customer.
Monthly. 4?
$4?
Yeah.
Not 5, just 4.
No,
okay.
4.99.
Do you think you would recommend Stanley Security to a friend or family member based on this website?
No.
Okay. That completes the survey. What can we do to address these problems? Recommendations include not mixing too many interface elements, such as radio buttons with scroll bars, renaming eInform, tag management or combining it with location management, and renaming My Account and Account Management, redesigning the homepage and adding a home logo, adding another menu level to monitoring under reports, and enlarging or adding icons to the user management table. Additionally, any forms which require the email box should not force users to enter a comma, tab, or enter afterwards. These small changes will make a huge improvement in the overall usability of eServices and provide a better user experience.